What it do, Durag Nation? We just got the official reveal of Marvel Rivals Season 3, and it's glorious. I'm going to break down the new trailer, which is full of clever Easter eggs and amazing new content coming to the game. So Hulk smash that like button and let's get it. First, let's check out the full trailer.
After eons, another comes to my Glentor. To me, my queen in black.
Knull is coming, and time will spiral into darkness.
Okay, I have to say that this is the best season trailer they've done since Season 0. Apologies to Emma Frost in Season 2 and Invisible Woman in Season 1. You were both great too. Season 0 is still my favorite. The combination of the music, Wolverine fastball special, and the reveal of Squirrel Girl is hard to beat. But this Season 3 trailer is still peak and reminds me more of the Marvel Rivals cinematic trailer, which was basically a 3-minute teaser of what would probably be the best anime of the year if Marvel and NetEase made full episodes. The action, the fight choreography, and even the animation style, especially during the combat portions, were all S tier, and they brought a lot of that to this Season 3 trailer, unlike the last few, which didn't have a lot of fighting at all and focused more on setting up the story. I definitely prefer the more action-focused trailers from Marvel Rivals, and whatever these animators and designers are being paid, it's not enough. They're incredible. The trailer kicks off with the confirmation of who the main threat of Season 3 will be, with a twist. We already knew Knull would be the focus of Season 3. As I covered again in my last video, the Season 2 lore entry revealed Adam Warlock came back to warn the others about Knull, which included a tease of the Phoenix, the primordial force of the universe that would be used to fight the symbiote god. So based on those clues, we knew that Knull would be the big bad, like Dracula was in Season 1, and that most of the content would revolve around the battle between the Phoenix Force and Knull's symbiotes, with the new maps likely being expansions of the existing Clintar one we already have, since that is where Knull is currently imprisoned. But Marvel Rivals threw in a very clever curveball. Instead of Knull himself immediately returning, Hela, the weirdly hot death goddess, as Star-Lord describes her, betrays everyone and joins forces with him to become his Queen in Black. Now, comic fans will be most familiar with the King in Black, the iconic comic book event where Venom leads Earth's mightiest heroes as they try to stop the invasion of Knull, who arrives with an army of symbiote dragons along with symbiote-infested celestials. There was even an alternate reality where Peter Parker was the King in Black. After keeping the symbiote from the Venom War, he became the strongest being in the galaxy and ruled like a dictator, with Mary Jane by his side after she mastered the Arachniote. However, there was a Queen in Black comic as well, and no, I don't mean the Black Queen. She's a vampire, not a symbiote. Queen in Black was part of a series of trade paperbacks starring the woman I would let ruin my life, Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat. In a 3-part run called Queen in Black, her fetish for stealing results in her getting caught up in the fight against Knull, and she ends up doing her own symbiote bond and becoming an anti-venom. But Hela is going to be a very different Queen in Black than Felicia, and seems to be taking on a role more similar to what Carnage had after he got a Knull power-up, which means, like Cletus Cassidy, it's very possible she's simply using Knull to gain power and intends to betray him. Though it's also possible she is legit just simping for him. Goddesses of Death have needs too. Her new Queen in Black skin will no doubt inspire a lot of creative fan art, I'm sure, but the design is really cool and shows off the classic Venomized makeover with the red spiral design that is the symbol of Knull's power. I have no doubt this Queen in Black Hela skin will be making its way into Marvel Rivals this season, either in the shop or as part of the Battle Pass. This will pair well with a certain Loki skin, since the God of Mischief is also no stranger to symbiotes. His All Butcher costume is actually inspired by his appearance in Thor Volume 5, where Loki takes control of All Black, the Necrosword. This insanely powerful weapon will likely be very important to the lore of Season 3. The sword was created by Knull using his firstborn symbiote and the energy from a Celestial's head. This was the weapon Gore the God Butcher used to, well, butcher gods. Hela is confronted by Jean Grey, who has bonded with the newly hatched Phoenix. The devs previously released a video teasing Season 3 by showing this image of a Phoenix egg on Clintar. It looks like the heroes go to Clintar in order to stop Knull after the egg hatches and powers up Jean Grey. But even the Phoenix is not enough to defeat Hela now that she's working with Knull. She needs a little bit of help, and it comes just in time from our favorite vampire hunter, who arrives with all the aura you've come to expect from somebody that never ice skates up hills. Blade fans should also notice the sudden music change when he saves Jean. This is not a coincidence and is actually a reference to the original Blade movies starring Wesley Snipes. Knowers will be very familiar with what scene they're referencing. Based devs as usual. But despite how cool his entrance was, Blade also gets stepped on by Queen in Black Hela, lucky guy, and appears to be partially infected by the symbiote, but his vampire healing and the Phoenix save him. When Carnage was powered by Knull's cult, he had the ability to infect people and turn them into mind-controlled zombies. I'm wondering if Hela has a similar ability. Fortunately, Blade doesn't have to find out, and Jean then ends up giving him a power-up that transforms him into his shut up and take my money form. It's actually a really cool design that isn't fully a Phoenix Force upgrade like we've seen other characters get, as he partially has a white and black side that seems to represent the influence from the symbiote he got from Hela stabbing him. Looks more like Anti-Venom. His weapon is also now coated in the fire of the Phoenix, which answers the question some people had about how Blade would be useful if Knull was the main villain of Season 3. Phoenix stuff. Comic fans know anybody can be strong when the Phoenix is involved. Blade is also not technically fighting Knull, who is still in prison by the way. We see him bound to his throne, which is why Hela had to approach him in order to get wiped up. So it looks like the first part of the lore will be about the heroes fighting back against Hela and trying to prevent her from actually freeing Knull, who is such a big threat. I wouldn't be surprised if both of the Doctor Dooms got involved to make sure Knull doesn't ruin their plans. Similar to how Doom lent assistance to Emma Frost in Season 2 in order to help the heroes defeat Ultron, though Doom of course immediately betrayed them after. They managed to beat Doom when he did, but it was just a robot clone, so the real one is still out there scheming. The trailer ends with a tease of even more of the skins you can expect in Season 3. We have a Phoenix Force upgrade for Magik, who was part of the Phoenix 5 team in the comics, along with Emma Frost, Namor, Cyclops, and Colossus. Hopefully the devs add the last two members to the game. Colossus would be such a fun tank to play. Wolverine also gets a Phoenix skin, and he too wielded the power of the Phoenix in the comics. And yes, Wolverine with the power of the Phoenix was just as overpowered as you're imagining. But in addition to the Phoenix Force, the Marvel Rivals devs showed once again they know what the people want and are giving us a Symbiote Jeff skin. In the comic Venom War, it's Jeff #1, our favorite Landshark, winds up getting infected by a symbiote when he's left alone. But because Jeff is the best boy ever, instead of biting people's heads off or trying to heal the world through mind control, he just goes to Coney Island to get some snacks. If the Instalockers beat me to Jean Grey and Blade, I will for sure be playing plenty of Venom Jeff. The trailer confirms that Marvel Rivals Season 3 launches on July 11th, and it will be the first season following the new format. Seasons will now last for only 2 months instead of 3, and each month we can expect a brand new hero to arrive in the game. Season 3 will, of course, be Jean Grey and Blade, and just like with Season 2, we'll get one hero at the start of the season, and the second hero will arrive in a Season 3.5 update. Unlike last season where we got one tank and one healer, based on their abilities, you should definitely expect 2 new DPS characters to be joining the roster for Season 3. Unlike last season where we got one tank and one healer, based on their abilities, you should probably expect 2 new DPS characters to be joining the roster for season 3. Let's just hope Jean and Blade can heal themselves. But the great part about the new format is that if you're disappointed about a particular hero because it's not who you wanted or the role you were hoping for, you only have to wait a month for the next one to roll out. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm very curious to see how the devs handle game balance while adding all these new heroes. But for now, I'm really excited with what the devs have been cooking up. There was so much in just the season 3 trailer, but there is a lot more news and content dropping from Marvel Rivals this week that you need to know about. Click the video on screen to learn more.